You guys got it? You guys clicked the right thing?
Did you get it, bud?
Oh, he hasn't been following along.
He's 36 minutes behind.
Rocket League.
Thanks for having me on your podcast.
Okay, can you hear this? This week's episode of... You guys can hear that?
Watch
Okay, cool.
Stream. You should see a little thing on there.
Oh, sorry. I get that.
Yeah.
It's a very...
None of that even came through. Oh, sorry.
All right, we good to go? We good?
I got 2 squares that are dancing.
Cool. Can you hear this? This week's episode of Beyond the Pine is brought to you by Doodads. Got something you need fixed? Dim dads who love that good doo-doo. That doesn't make sense. I'm Steven Suptic, ex-millionaire, joined today by Clayton James Klein-Blisson, who keeps avoiding me whenever I hit him up. Have I done something to offend him? What secrets is he hiding underneath those evanescent eyes? Something jovial? Or perhaps something more sinister? No matter, James DeAngelis, everybody. Let's give a round of applause for James DeAngelis. Hey, James. Lucky he's cute. Every time I see James, I think, man, I wish I was Lauren, even for just a few seconds, just to know what it feels like to get my ass beat. Because he's so dang strong, he's got that decelerated learning strength. He's got that gotta restrain him or figure out a way to interrupt his tunnel vision, otherwise people are gonna get hurt, and it wouldn't really be James's fault kind of strength. But enough about my dumbass friends this week. Let's talk about our guests. Can we? On the pod today, we've got an actual YouTube legend, and that's what you say about YouTubers that have really dropped off. But if you're not familiar with him and you're on YouTube, then read the dang room. He's the next big thing. It's Kasim G. Now, Kassem's had the vaccine since April. He was one of the first people to get it. And that seems a bit unfair, doesn't it? Well, that's the way the world works. The rich get to save themselves and their families. They take and they take and leave nothing for the rest of us. They let the rest of us rot like the fucking troglodytes we are. Well, I hope this kicks off to a fun start, you guys. I really hope you boys have a great episode. And remember to sit up straight and drink water, okay, James? Okay, good night, boys. I really want you to have a good time this podcast. Can you do that for me? Maybe I'll get something to eat. What's the deal with how much fun you guys are going to have in a few minutes when the podcast starts? What's the deal with that? Man, can you believe Kid Book Kassem? Thinking out loud. Billy gave me weed yesterday. I had another cancer nightmare last night. That doesn't make sense.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Dude, how dumb was that shit?
Dude, OMG, my goodness.
Anyway.
Holy shit.
Dude, I wish I could gauge Kassem's reaction during that, but his internet connection is, this is every 2 seconds.
I know. It was like...
Every little bit, dude. Anyway.
Well, okay,
wonderful.
so that was incredible.
Are you sure?
And it was great. And I like the format, and I like how you talk to yourself. That was you, right?
No.
It was Steve. It was Steve.
It was me.
It was Steve's guy.
Yeah, it was Steve's guy. Like, it's like you're John Nah, you know?
Oh,
I can't tell if you're reacting or not because the thing is so delayed, you know? So
we're gonna do something. Maybe we'll turn his gate down. Should we do that?
Trying to be as professional as possible, but I'm seeing two of you I don't see. I see Steven.
But I think that's because you're on Wi-Fi right now and you should be on Ethernet. I think that's the simple solution for you.
Interesting.
So you don't see me or Kib?
Can take all this away and move it to inside the home if that's what you want to do.
How big of an Ethernet cord do you have nearby?
This is my Wi-Fi signal, full torque.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Boner.
You got to think about this. Think about all the people out there using their internet right now because of this pandemic.
The virus,
they're eating
the
it up,
fucking
dude. They're
virus,
eating
right?
Oh,
That's
you probably
going on.
Oh, well, there's been a pandemic for a little bit. And there are probably people that are like parked up outside your house using your Wi-Fi.
Yeah. It's caused from the 5G, the viruses.
The brains.
Yeah.
Kib's right.
I just want to address something that you said in the intro regarding.
Are you sure?
Regarding what you classify a YouTube legend as. Somebody who has fallen off so hard. I thought that was so funny and so accurate.
Thanks.
And
Here's you, Mrs. Robinson.
I'm actually back to making videos, so I don't know if it like really applies. Like I uploaded a video a couple weeks ago, and like I'm already on the top of the charts, and there's like I
Well, that
get
was
a
a
lot
lie
of
because you're
comments.
not.
Are you lying?
Well, that video was genius, dude. That video was so funny. Holy shit! I don't know if you guys watched it because you don't do any research. You guys don't give a shit about our guests.
I'm the first
You guys don't
person
give
who
a
did
fuck about our
research, baby.
guests.
My
Oh
internet's
yeah.
been out
What's his
for,
most recent video on
6
YouTube?
months.
Well, when I did the
His
research,
internet's been out.
when I did the research, it was a week ago, and he hadn't posted in 7 months. But I went on his IMDb, I went on his Pornhub
Yeah, but what was the
account,
video that he
I
posted,
logged
dude?
in, I added a second user, and I had my way with myself.
And now I have Pornhub Premium.
What was the video?
It's well, I basically made it a very detailed explanation about kind of what's been going on with me, and it's kind of like an apology video, like a we broke up video, and also like a new sort of project announcement video, like all rolled up.
It wasn't any of that, man. The whole video wasn't any of that, dude. It's you talking and then a bunch of fucking Jeffrey Tambor or whatever his name is on all the screens. Jeffree Star. Was it Jeffree Star? Just talking on 8 different screens going, and then it's you trying to talk about merch or some shit the whole time. It's not you. It's not an apology video.
Which one of you is lying? Because there's
Come
two
on!
entirely
If
different
you watched the video, you would have known.
I've
He
got
seemed very
things. Well,
passionate.
Yeah, there was Jeffree Star in the background, but like my audio I think came through pretty clear.
like your
But,
story.
Kib, don't get his.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
I
think
hate that
that's
this isn't
sick.
either his word or my word thing right now because if you just watched
Anyways,
the video, you would
I'm up.
know.
Kasim, that's actually really deep.
I've got. Yeah, thank
Mhm.
you. And it's good to be back. And like, if you guys, it's like right now I'm looking down on you guys in the subscriber world.
Of course,
I look
of course.
see you guys and I go, oh, that's cute. Like which
That's
one of you am I gonna have to collab with to stay relevant in the future? Right now I'm fine, but I thought this is my version of community service was
Community
to kind of come
service,
do your
yeah.
pod. Yeah.
Dude, didn't you have?
Was it court ordered?
Thanks for having me on your show.
Oh.
Didn't you have something in your Twitter bio or was it your Instagram bio for a little bit that said "I will do your podcast"? There's
Yeah,
something there,
'cause
and then
yeah.
so did you get asked
Please.
a lot by people to do podcasts, and then did you put that up, and then people stopped asking you to do it, or were they? Did they just set up and be like, "Hey, this is your date that you're coming on now"?
I was doing so many that I put it in my bio because I felt like I'm just a professional podcast guest now. And then I put that up, and then I started getting, like the asks from the guys that like have like 2 to 3 subscribers, and
Right.
Yeah,
I
those
took
fucking
it down
those
because I
fucking
can't
dumbasses,
fulfill-
fucking
idiots,
weebs,
right?
dude.
Those fucking
Right.
fans,
Fulfill all
disgusting
3
fucking-
requirements.
Right.
fucking idiot bitches.
Right, Ronnie?
You'll do 1 or 2 of those just to like feel good about yourself, but you're not going to do that consistently.
Those
dude.
fucking
What's the point?
cunts. Those fucking idiots.
I have
Oh,
a question
Jesus,
for you.
no.
I've got a
Yeah.
big boy question for
try?
you, actually, Kasim. I've got a big boy question for you. If we could just
Yeah,
all
let's hear
listen to me real quick. I know you probably can't see me because you said I think you can't see me, but so
Can't
listen
see
to
it,
my
but I
voice.
can hear you just fine.
Okay, so I am wearing a pink shirt just so you can kind of envision me. So my question is,
Off
what was
pink.
your favorite podcast? Which one were you so excited to be on besides this one?
And including this one.
I just did a. Now this is gonna sound silly, but I just did a Bigfoot podcast where for just an hour talked about Bigfoot.
That's
And,
so fucking
That's
stupid.
so fucking funny, man.
That's so
I
fucking
can't-
dumb.
You guys, but it sounds like you're laughing. It actually sounds like you're laughing.
No.
I'm
one's
not
laughing.
laughing. I think
Shut up,
that is
James.
silly, like you said how that was kind of silly. So I'm just agreeing with you. It sounds a
Don't
little
say that.
silly, but I'm thinking that's great.
You're off-putting our guest, and it's not funny.
You talked for an hour about Bigfoot, dude. Are you kidding me?
About Bigfoot, that's
Wow.
not funny at all.
Yeah, I didn't know I was gonna come on and just kind of be like.
You
pop
break it up,
the
man. You
whole-
gotta pay for better internet.
Well, do your research, man. We hate Bigfoot here. You talked about Bigfoot for an hour.
Okay, can we just stop? Let me just for a second. You know what? Instead of patronizing our guest here,
sorry.
What'd you learn? What'd you learn about Bigfoot, bud?
The guy probably already knows it all.
Tell us everything, man. Is he
He
real?
probably already knows everything about Squatch.
Size of foot, bigger than an 11.
Oh,
Bigger
now he's
than
trying
11.
to show off his
Bigger
guns,
than an
dude.
11, then you're in the NBA. Oh, he's distracting. He's distracting us, dude. He's trying to pull a fast one over on us so we don't ask about Bigfoot, dude. He knows too much. Okay.
Oh man.
No, I look, if we're just gonna just be serious just for one moment.
Just a couple friends, just being serious.
Absolutely.
I just wanted to say, yeah, I like the paranormal. Everyone that kind of used to ever watch my videos knows that I am a big cryptid, paranormal, UFO, alien guy, and I have the most fun when I get to talk about that stuff. And I just had this a podcast that I did on a podcast that I do currently called Pajama Pants. I invited a ufologist on, and how long did that take? And we talked about.
That's right,
I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to the news, but UFOs are out there.
They
right
exist.
Now, and they're in the news.
They're trending for sure. They're definitely trending. Yeah.
They're trending upwards, and I think people are getting interested, and there is a lot of sort of like mainstream publicity that this stuff's getting, and not, there's a lot of information to understand and disseminate and make sure people
really
kind of
up there right now.
Steven, you look bored.
No, I'm not bored. I'm just baffled. What kind of people? Who's getting the shit trending?
The government?
You're making shit up, man.
The CIA declassified documents. Never heard of them?
Remember when
this is a conversation between you and James. This is you guys.
I've got a question for you. You ever, in your studies, in your journeys, in your adventures, in any of your adventures, have you ever come across Agartha or Hollow Earth?
Yeah, I've definitely come across it. James, thank you. The Hollow Earth theory is one that I'm not ashamed to admit I don't know a whole lot about. I do understand that via Antarctica, we have some entry points, and the theory is that there is a whole other civilization with its own atmosphere and its own community.
I'm gonna kill myself.
I wish you could see me
below the upper crust of the earth.
I wish you could see me because I was just rubbing my nipples in agreement with you.
Dude.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, no, I have to concur with what you just said. I also don't know much about it.
Okay, great. Well, I'm glad we're talking about a subject we both probably don't know a whole lot about. But if I could screen cap this for you, this is what Clay looks like. He's frozen like this right now.
I'm frozen? No, I'm actually not frozen. I'm just extremely good at ventriloquism.
That's not ventriloquism.
Yeah, this dumbass.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's right. Getting fucked, you are. All right, guys. Well, that was fucking boring. I got something really great for us. A really special part that I think is gonna really bond us, make us kind of like lifelong fratty kind of friends. You know what I mean? My brother from across the country. We're gonna play, something.
We're in the same state.
Come on, man. Kasim doesn't know that. All right, this is a real bonding moment, you guys, and I'm so hoping everyone came prepared. We're going to play a little game of show and tell, quick and dirty, and I will start wax on, wax dog.
His eyes are popping out.
Am I still pretty...
His eyes are totally fucked, man.
Can Kasim see me? What's going on here?
No. So if this requires me to be able to see you, I don't think this is going to work.
I'll screen cap and I'll show you exactly what he's.
I can just hear. I got.
No, it's okay. I'll screen cap it.
I have a better idea.
I have a better idea. I'm doing it right now.
I'm doing something better, dude. It's gonna be live. Wax on.
You got his number?
Wax dog.
He's calling.
This is gonna cut his Wi-Fi out, dude. Now he's not gonna.
Yeah, this is gonna. All right, so here's what we're talking about right now.
Okay.
All right. Well, yeah, that's. I'll talk to you later, buddy.
Yo, what the fuck were you trying to get out of that? What?
He had to see the wax dog for the show and tell. Otherwise, what the fuck is the point?
Oh, we're doing a show and tell.
And you need to get better at describing things. You need to get you need to get better at describing things.
Okay.
Well, I had no idea what you were talking about that whole time. You just brought it.
Hey,
I said we're gonna play show.
Shut up and listen and watch and listen and learn something. All right, this is how you do it. This is how you show and tell without showing. This is how you tell. Kasim, hello, James here. Again, I'm wearing a pink shirt, just to give you an idea of who you're talking.
You don't have to say hi back.
Are you there? Did you hear me?
Yeah, he heard.
Go ahead, James. You're clear.
Okay, copy that. So I've got a book here, Save the Cat, the last book on screenwriting that you'll ever need, written by Blake Snyder. This is a very good screenwriting book. It's actually considered the last book on screenwriting you'll ever need. Blake Snyder, most known for
Except the second one and third one that he wrote. Yeah.
Right. The first one from 2005 is the most relevant one from 2005. He's most known for writing Blank Check, the hit Disney Channel movie about the kid who gets hit by a car and gets $1 million. And so basically I read this book. I've highlighted tons of things in it. Just imagine most of the most important parts of it highlighted.
But not read yet.
There's red letters in this book. And I've got little green bookmarks on the sides of it. So if you ever need any screenwriting tips, or if you ever want to think about being a part of my movie that I've been writing now for 2 or 3 weeks, then we should talk.
Yeah, I'd really consider that. And sounds like you're really far down the road with the project. And if there's anything I could do to lend a hand, I know the beat sheet. I know I took a little bit away from reading that book.
Mm-hmm.
I do love the Blank Check movie itself. So anything that the writer of that has to offer you and you to offer me, consider me a customer.
He doesn't know know them personally.
Yeah, he doesn't know.
You didn't? It's not your friend, Blake Snyder?
Blake Snyder died in 2009.
How? He had a colonoscopy.
3 years after the. Wow.
Yeah, 4 years after he wrote the book. Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that, and my thoughts and prayers go out to the Snyder.
And 8 years after 9/11.
You know, it's crazy. At the end of the first chapter, he says, if you have any ideas you want to talk to me, here's my email. And his AOL email is right there in the chapter. And I was like, oh, shit, I'm going to email this guy. Looked him up. He died 11 years ago.
Right.
So you've been visiting his grave.
So I've been getting responses from the email, though, which is weird.
Right.
Yeah, his last great performance. And you've been getting responses from the grave.
You know what they say, man? The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist.
Here we go again with the phone.
Holy shit, man. John,
come on.
4:3. Thou shalt not fuck thy neighbor. Come on, man.
So that was your show and tell, James? That's what you brought? Cute though. I mean, hey, that screenwriting book. I think that's a really cute thing. I think that's very sweet.
That is a really.
I think
cute thing.
It's also important. It's important. It's important. And you're very sweet, and I love you.
Seem like you're almost apologizing for saying it the way you said it.
I did because I didn't because I meant it real, and then I realized how it was coming off, and then I tried to bring it back.
I don't need your guys' approval.
I do approve.
He doesn't need your approval.
That's fine.
Cool.
Fuck you, Steve.
Oh.
What? What's
Jesus.
up? You okay, bud?
I sat on something.
Hemorrhoid?
Come on.
Oh,
damn.
Yikes,
fuck
that's a big one. That's a big hemorrhoid.
You know, I've had a hemorrhoid recently, and it keeps getting inflamed because I keep
talking
going
about
on.
It.
Yeah, because I keep going on walks. And have you ever had a hemorrhoid, Kassem?
Yeah, I have. They are they're not pleasant, and yeah, and there's a few things you can do about them. Make wipes now, and you don't have to apply cream directly on. So I kind of like.
Dude, I fucking wipe. What?
No, you don't.
Did you say that was one of the things you can do is wipe? Oh, Preparation H wipes. I've been using cortisone cream.
Hell yeah.
Or maybe it's toothpaste.
Or maybe it's toothpaste. Or maybe it was a toothbrush.
Dude. Yeah, dude. Hemorrhoids fucking
You got a hemorrhoid, Steve?
I do.
Show
but
us.
I keep... Well, it's just a bummer because
pop it out.
Pop it out.
It's actually in recession right now.
Can you pop a hemorrhoid? Can you just pop one?
Oh, fuck no. I think it's your skin. I think it's your asshole popping out.
Yeah, but it's just like a bunch of fucking blood, right? There's nothing wrong with that, right? It's just a bunch of blood that would...
Try to pop it, man.
I'm not going to try. It hurts too bad.
You ever prolapsed?
No.
I was asking Kasim.
Have I ever prolapsed?
No, but I did. At one point, I have tried to stimulate a prostate exam.
Fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Stimulate
because this is what I heard. I heard a woman's orgasm has always been much stronger than a man's, and part of me really wanted to experience what that was like. And I had heard men can be milked, their prostates can be milked,
100%.
And I wanted to experience the intensity of that. And so I had a girl.
Did you produce
her fingers up my butt, and I hated it.
Oh, really?
You tried that and you hated it? Damn.
I don't like things in my butt, and that's the lesson that I learned. So it was a learning experience. Well, you can tell by my recent video on YouTube, the fact that I made a video on YouTube, it's not a lot.
Not a lot, yeah.
Well, I mean, if
Right.
you don't count the houses I own and like the sports car, and
Right.
I also have
Well, it's
like,
an older sports car now, isn't it? Isn't it?
What do you drive? What do you drive,
Gold.
Kassem?
gold piled up. I drive a 911 Turbo S, but yeah, thank you, Steven. It is.
It's getting there. Hey, I also
bought
have a
it brand new
Porsche.
and now it's old.
Kassem,
I
I
have a
drive
Porsche as well, dude.
I drive a Mazda Miata convertible. It's
Look, those are-
2015 Dodge Dart.
Yeah, those are okay, and they started selling those to people of any sort of sexuality.
Right, they
don't
didn't
think
ask.
It says anything about you. Yeah.
I mean,
Actually,
seemed
It was,
really
but it was
neutral.
either that or between that or a Volkswagen Jetta.
Hmm.
That says a lot. Speaks
Hmm.
volumes.
Go Miata. Steven, what are you driving now? Because last time I remember you completely wrecked
Totaling
your
my
Jag-
bullshit, right? Totaling my shit. Yeah, I crashed the Jag. Then I moved on to, well, still paying for that. Still paying for it. And then we moved on to a
Emotionally.
Porsche Macan base model 2018. So it is also getting a little bit older. You know, there was something I watched this thing with Jerry Seinfeld, and I equate you to Jerry Seinfeld a little bit in the sense that like they had the thing that was it.
And you both dated high schoolers.
It's not a compliment, in the sense that like, and it was this TMZ thing where he gets bombarded by some TMZ person that's asking him a question. They're like, you don't need to bike, dude. You don't need to do whatever this is. And he's like, what do you think? I'm just gonna sit around all day and not. You know what? Let me find the actual fucking thing because
Fuck it, you're butchering this.
Yeah, not sure what you're getting at here.
if I hear exactly what he said, it's because this isn't a topic that I had in mind.
If we
to talk
also
about,
heard
you guys.
exactly what he said, we would know what he said as well.
You're talking about the part when he's on the red carpet and then Kesha comes
No,
up
he's
to
not
him
on the
and
red
is like,
carpet.
give me
No,
a
no.
hug, and then he's like, get
No.
the fuck away from me, Kesha.
No, he's out in the middle of the street and he's riding his bicycle, and the TMZ guy comes up to him and he says, like, oh, you're riding a bike, dude? You don't need. What do you need to do that for? And then he's just like, really? That's the best kind of question you're gonna ask? And then he goes on. The TMZ guy goes on to say like, so what are you doing? And Jerry Seinfeld tells him, and the TMZ guy goes like, well, you don't need to be doing that. You could just, you don't even need to do anything. Why do you even need? You have enough money. And the guy goes like, well, you think that's what I'm gonna do the rest of my life and fucking nothing? And I thought about you. I thought about you, Kassem, because it's like, even though you're like Jerry Seinfeld in the sense that you had it all, and you have everything. You have all the money you'll ever fucking need. You're still out there every couple of years. You're still doing shit because you realize, deep down, that you got to keep the fight going because there's a burning there's a passion for creativity in your heart.
It's kind of like one big backhanded compliment.
I'm just saying
Yeah,
you have a lot. I know
absolutely.
there's passion in you, and it like
Every
rises.
few years.
You're like
every
the
few
Jeepers Creepers
years,
monster, dude.
and
Every 23 years,
Every few
for
years, I will
23
rise up.
days, he must feed.
and I will eat a young teen couple.
Right.
Yeah, it was.
They were actually brother and sister,
There's
but go
something
ahead.
to. Yeah. Okay. Great. Well, it's good to know we have some horror fans. I have to make something, and I have to do something, or else, yeah, you sit there and then you start to atrophy, and your muscles get weak, and I can
You get
feel
bed
myself
sores.
summer. Yeah, you get bed sores, and there isn't that sort of need to want to be like relevant, but there is that sort of need to want to do things that are funny and that make my friends laugh, and like, that there's that part. And so like you said, every 2 years, check that subscription box. I'll be in there.
Dude, that's the thing. That it's not about being relevant or about trying to make money or anything. It's kind of about how your peers receive you. That's what it is for me.
Yeah,
is because I
agree.
want them to think that I'm still cool. You know?
Validation for sure.
Yeah.
And so when I started doing comedy as a stand-up, and for like 2 years I did it sort of like on the weekends, and I really wanted to pursue like a stand-up career, and then I started getting into YouTube at the same time, and then YouTube took over, and then I just never went back to the stand-up. And I always had that part where it was like, man, I'd love to have the admiration and like be good at stand-up and like have that sort of validation from fellow comedy peers and things like that. And no amount of money buys you that. I'll tell you that right now.
You've tried, and I tell you.
I tried. Yeah. I'll just throw cash at people that I respect and be like,
Laugh
respect
at me.
Because you, I mean, I don't think I've ever actually talked to you about it, but from my understanding, you had a small business with Shay Carl and fucking Philip DeFranco back in the day, right? Or no, it wasn't Phil, it was Shay Carl.
Yeah,
it was,
we had. It was
no, you
Shay,
go. No,
Phil.
you go.
Yeah, I'll tell my story. And it was we started like a studio. Like it was more of a place to like share resources, because some of us had like cameras and computers, and some of us could write, or some of us
Kids.
could. Exactly, the movie that Harmony Korine made, where the guy gave her AIDS, and
Right.
and it was
I said
essentially
kids.
just a place for us. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the movie.
Yeah,
Come on, Steve, keep
have
up.
you
Steve.
never?
Keep up, Steve. Keep up. Come on.
We
Go ahead,
essentially
Kasim.
just started a place to share resources, and we would hire somebody to come shoot, because we were all making YouTube videos on our own, and we wanted to make more and figure out how we could kind of like help each other. We could collab with each other, and this was all like in Venice in 2008 and 9. And wouldn't it be great if I just explained the story of Dogtown and the Z Boys from here? But
Then we started skateboarding, and
that took
Mom
long.
kicked me out.
Yep. And then we got sponsored. But so we took on an investor, and then once the investor came on, kind of like all the priorities shifted from being kind of like a little studio into being something bigger. And then
It wasn't Rooster Teeth, was
you know,
it?
No, dude, it was fucking, it was Maker, man.
Dude, that was a
Yeah,
bit
yeah.
and a joke.
So was that.
Well, yours was pointless.
I know, it was a no and. I'm sorry, I improv'd wrong again.
You're right. You're right.
so that was it. We ended up like, it started with like Phil, and I don't know if you've heard of this kid Shane Dawson. He's been in the news. There was a few other people that kind of co-founded
Gained a
it,
lot of
but
weight,
couple,
yeah.
like Phil and Shane left.
Who's Trains Johnson's?
No, not Trains
not-
Dawson.
Trains Johnson's.
Trans Johnson he's probably one of the biggest creators and beauty gurus on YouTube.
I don't know if he's even a
And,
beauty guru at all. Actually.
Trains Johnson.
Yeah,
So you're telling us
we,
about the millions you made from Maker.
yeah, and so eventually the company sold, and then we kind of like all we did was just to
Take the money and
remove
run.
ourselves from well, I had a big, I don't know if you guys, I think you went through this, you may understand, there's a real thing called burnout, and like there's a depression that hits when you are forced to feed the never-ending machine of like YouTube subscribers and constantly give content to, and
I
it
am
And
the
doesn't
if it's
machine,
really
not,
baby.
leave you with a
if it's
whole
also
lot of
not
time
working
to
and you
balance
have
it.
goals to hit, and then there's like negative stress added on besides
Yeah.
just the
And
monotony
when you
of
have
doing
when you have
something
goals
too
to hit,
much.
when you have goals to hit, and you're stressed out, and you have no creative juices, you can't
And
think
not
of
hitting
creative
goals.
solutions for anything, because you're just like struggling to stay afloat. And
Yes.
I even set myself on fire one time.
He
I've
did,
never
yeah.
experienced burnout.
That seems like an extreme sort of solution, James, but it does feel like you are constantly underwater trying to get a breath. And so also I was like drinking a lot and smoking a ton of weed, and all that stuff kind of compounds and makes things worse, because you're using all those things to deal with like the reality of your situation. And so it took me a few years to get out of that, and I'm sober today, and I exercise, and I feel
Congrats,
like
dude.
hey, thanks. And
Want to smoke a
creatively,
J
I
after this?
feel today's a good a day as any to relapse. That's what I always say every morning.
Dude, Kim gets you fucking back in the way.
Dude, I would love to
Thanks,
smoke a
bud.
joint after this.
So
I
you
would
found the
be-
void. You
I'd
found
be a
whatever
great
void
hang.
you needed to fill.
That would be.
Exactly.
What
so,
did you figure out? Are you able to say what it was, you think? Or did it just one day you looked back and you're like, holy shit, I haven't felt bad in a long time?
I mean, that stuff happens incrementally, and like if you just start putting positive action after positive action, and I don't want this to sound like The Secret or some sort of motivational
No,
thing.
sure, it's super preachy, but fucking go on.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you
Hallelujah.
just start, doing a positive action followed by a positive action, and then some days you'll stumble. But if you kind of like start pushing this ball in the right direction, eventually you'll be like, oh, today it wasn't so bad compared to years ago when I like every day I felt like shit. I was also publicly like on YouTube reading comments that were, like you guys
crush
know,
your dick with a stone. Yeah, I got that one a lot.
Again.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like every once in a while you'll read that one comment that it just hits on every insecurity, and you're like, oh, did
Clay,
my
you have
mom
a big
type this?
nose and a long chin, and you're not funny. Whatever, dude.
Yeah, I share. Look, Clay, I share the features. And
dude, we very
for
much
big
do.
noses like us. There's
I
a future, and we're okay after
I can
a while.
smell from miles away, so
You have allergies.
You can always walk into a room
You're right.
and tell when a salad is being made. I have
that's
that.
right, dude. Fucking ranch.
You can go
easily.
Absolutely epic. No, Kassem, dude, that resonates with me, man. I've been going through that similar kind of like realization of journey of just like creating kind of positive habits that you are like planting seeds in your life, and just it looks like you're just rolling your eyes because the way it froze. No, but that's so funny. No, just like creating those habits and planting those seeds that you know are going to pay off eventually, and just kind of sticking with that and pushing through that. It's definitely a thing that I think is true.
Yes, the mental health, the career of YouTuber, which just started, 11, 12 years ago, is it's not one that leaves room for a lot of sort of like balance. And if you're like, and a lot of these kids that become famous are like in their early 20s, and some of them are like young teens.
TikTok.
You're not even fully formed yet. Yeah, you're not even fully formed yet. Your frontal lobes are still developed. I mean, what it's gonna do to these kids and what it's done to people like me is like all of a sudden you're completely insecure. You have all these issues that you don't even know yet, let alone dealt with, and then it pushes you out into a very public, visible place where all of a sudden now, on top of having all those things, like a regular person would work out in therapy when they got into their late 20s, 30s.
Yeah.
But now you have all these issues, and then the world gets to comment on what they think of you. And it's no surprise that like depression is probably like at the very minimum for somebody who is a successful person on YouTube after a while. I think that there's a lot of programs that should be put in place specifically by YouTube, but like other people, like to really have help guide people through the process of like, hey, yesterday you were kind of just making videos, today you're famous worldwide, and like how to deal with that. All of a sudden now you have money, like what do you do with them? How does money change? Now you have people coming in from everywhere. I mean, it's this is all about taxes.
The thing that caught me up, dude, was fucking after I got famous worldwide. The thing that caught me up was just the idea that you can't actually complain about this because, everyone always says like you're so lucky to be put in this position, and then I mean, and in many ways they're right, but it doesn't mean that you're not a little human guy that's trying to survive in this world the same way everyone else
everyone
is.
can complain in any fucking seat of life that you're at, dude. You know what I mean?
Like
you can still be the richest man in the world and still get a bad blowjob one day, and that bummed me out.
You still get a ruined orgasm.
He's exaggerating.
Right.
It wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad.
It's recognizing that other people have problems, but also your problems have value, and your struggles that you're experiencing have value, even though, in a world like this where everything is so focused on like social media and like that connectedness, you compare yourself to other people, and you see a lot of people like measure their worth by the struggle that they've had or that they overcome. And you don't realize that like struggle and hardships come in so many different shapes.
But that being said, it still is naturally very frustrating to see someone who's way further in life than you complain about something that you're like, oh really?
Yeah, dude, I get it. See, that's the problem is like I totally get that, dude.
Yeah, like that's natural too. I think we can just feel however the fuck we
fucking
want to
Shane
feel.
Dawson's complaining.
exactly.
If he complained about being canceled, I'd be like, oh, I didn't even have to get canceled to ruin my career. You know?
Yes. Every point. The thing is, it's like you said, it's difficult to complain about because every point of view is valid. You can totally understand why somebody would shit on somebody like that, and you can totally understand why somebody in that position is at the same time fortunate, but also like has this extra added pressure that a person not in that position has. So I don't know. I think my message would be it's possible to like work yourself out of it. It requires, it requires therapy. It requires like scaling back but here's the thing. It's like not everyone, I'm very fortunate because I was able to like take myself away from that world and still be able to like pay the bills.
Yeah.
But also now I can take that time and go to the gym and then go therapy and go like do these things that I should have been doing the whole time. And not have to worry about whether or not I'm going to hit like a certain subscriber goal or a view goal. I very much, never take that for granted. And I really understand why there are so many people that struggle with that sort of stuff. And because you can't take a moment, you guys know, you can't take a moment to yourself without worrying about like, well, if I take this week off, then I can't afford, or I can't do this, or I'm going to get upset, or they're going to forget me. Yeah. There's that whole, like, I'm not going to be relevant if I take a week or 2 weeks off.
Yeah, and then you worry about if you do take a few weeks off, then you'll worry you lose that need to be there in the first place, which is what happened to me. Kind of, you take so long away from like your bread and butter, and then you start to lose any type of like need to be in that spotlight. And again, you realize that it's not something that's
there's
like
something
innately
freeing about that too,
Totally.
though.
It's freeing. It's definitely freeing.
To finally feel like, oh, I don't have to be putting myself out there to feel valid and feel good about myself and be this person that I want to be. You can just be like, I'm chilling, life's good. You know what I mean? But something interesting about that whole like needing to like have all these things that keep you healthy, going for walks, therapy, and stuff like that too. I think when you're in it, when you're in that fucking grind, you have this like kind of false feeling of everything's good, even though you're stressed, and you don't realize that you were fucking depressed until you're out of it. And you have been going on these walks and going to therapy and realizing that now you're actually feeling good, and you can compare that to how you were not back then, which is interesting. Because like I never felt like I needed to go for a walk when we were in the hustle of it. You know what I mean? Like I felt like we were just doing our thing, whatever. But now like I know every week I need multiple beautiful outdoor moments for my soul to feel good and feel like a fucking human, so it's interesting that like you don't know that in the moment.
Oh, for sure. Hindsight's 2020.
That's a great point. Yeah, there is, when you're caught up in it, you don't have the time or like the mental capacity to realize that you're struggling. And in my case, it was like, well, I'll just go shoot this video and then I'll just go get really high and then we'll go edit it. And like the getting high part was me trying to cope with how stressed out.
Editing, because editing sucks.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Editing fucking sucks. It's the reason we're all where we're at.
Right.
And so, you have to take your feet off the pedals before you realize like, oh, okay, like I'm about to hit this wall. And it's like we keep coming back to the part of, well, we're fortunate and we're lucky to be in this position. And all I'm saying is that it's okay to feel both. It's okay to be fortunate and in this position, but also understand that like there is a humanity to it, and we are allowed to kind of want to take like sort of mental health days or like do things that create a sort of like balance in our life. Because when I was in that struggle, I realized didn't really have anyone that was like I was super close with. I had a bunch of people that I knew, and there were a lot of like YouTubers that I had at like an arm's length away, and if anyone was watching a video, they'd be like, oh, those guys, like they're all best friends and they're all great and they all hang out together. But like there was no one really like you were close with, because at the same time you're kind of like competing and you're kind of doing, so there's this sort of very shallow personal life that you end up living.
That's so strange. That's so different from our experience on YouTube.
Truly.
Dude, you should have been there with us, man.
Yeah,
we had it all.
Should have hopped on the train, man. You could have been Daddy Kassem in the SP7 world, bro, and then you could have fucking crashed with us.
peaked too early. I peaked too early. I would have
Yeah,
loved
dude.
to crash with you guys.
Dude, I still can't believe that you agreed to do that video back in the day. I forget what it was. But it was with Peter Gilroy and fucking
Yeah,
Jordan. And
yeah.
that you're friends with Jordan. What a weird combination
Yeah,
of
that's interesting.
How does Jordan attract these people in his life? He's like has circles of friends from every different place. It doesn't make sense.
He was friends with Bin Laden.
You know, a couple things is I actually really liked your guys' videos, by the way. So
Really?
Thanks,
one
dude.
thing I always prided myself on is like having a great sort of comedic eye and like, oh, that's like those guys are funny. Like so it was almost like a real honor for you to even ask for me to be in a video. It was like hands down a great thing. And what I want to tie this into what we were talking about is when you take a little bit of extra time and like the success you guys found wasn't because it was random and you guys just like vlogged and like put it up and like, oh yeah.
Wasn't just because we were hot.
No, it definitely was not. But there was like a lot of thought. There was a lot of thought and there was like a style and like a direction, and it was funny, and that stuff took a while, and obviously you couldn't keep that up forever, which I always knew. But
Why didn't you tell us?
I wish you warned us.
We
though.
could have prepared.
Actually, epic.
And then to answer the question about like Jordan, you know, there was like, I like cars and I like driving cars, and Jordan somehow, like, I remember Ian from Smosh introduced me, and I was like, oh, look at this tiny man.
I was about to say, you're probably like, oh, look at this little
This
guy.
tiny
Aw.
swollen man.
Oh, look at
Well,
you.
no, he
Like,
probably wasn't
oh.
swollen back then, though.
Was getting every week we would see each other, he would just keep inflating and
He went from worm
I don't think
to
he could put his
fucking
arms
earthworm.
down.
Well, pretty
now.
soon he's gonna be the size of a tennis ball.
Yeah,
He
he's
is
fucking
turning
lucky.
into a
And the
tennis
same
ball.
buoyancy too. You ever seen that man bounce?
It's impossible.
And what a skater too! If he wasn't a good
Dude.
skater, I'd be like, that guy's got no balance and no actual physical gifts. But he's got a lot of gifts in that.
Yeah,
area,
he's
physically.
working his way out
Yeah.
of small guy energy. You know what I mean? How like there's the small guy energy. They walk big, but they're tiny. He's actually like transitioning. I'm proud of him.
Into what?
Yeah, we're all proud of that guy.
A real man.
Oh my god, the poor guy.
Growing
Dude, Jordan's
up.
a sweetheart.
He is. I'm just fucking.
So
with you,
nice.
dude.
He's so
very
nice.
small. He's very small.
And he's the type of guy that I think also experienced a sort of burnout and had to like pivot. Pivoting is huge. How do you pivot? I'm trying to pivot right now. You know?
In the
I need to
podcast
pivot.
world.
Known as one guy into another thing that you want to do. Because when I started making videos, I was 24, 23, 24. I'm 36 now. I'm going to be 37 in a couple months. The things that I like now versus when I was younger, completely different. I'm into like
Right.
very grown up stuff. Aliens, Bigfoot.
Come on, man.
paranormal-
Well, dude,
Yeah.
you can never
Video
go back and
games.
do what you were
Come on,
originally
let me
doing
just
because
plug it a little bit. Let me plug it. So yeah,
Fuck yeah.
I'm trying to
Plug
pivot
UFOs
into that
and plug
kind of
aliens.
Not even any of
Just
his
plug
projects
aliens
is
real quick.
UFOs. The world needs
So-
to know.
your audience who you've built a subscription base who are like, oh, dude, I only want to see that guy on the beach talking to babes. I only want to see that guy talking to porn stars.
Nip
making
slip.
love 'em.
Is
Or
Kasim
else,
fucking
dude, I'm
any of 'em?
unsubscribing. Yeah. Dude, did you guys fuck? So there's so much of that, but like within all those people, there's, you know, out of 100 subscribers, there might be like 5 or 10 that are like, I kind of like the dude, and I'll
Mhm.
follow the dude, even though, you know, now he's into some pretty obscure stuff.
Aliens,
But yeah,
Bigfoot.
it's really tough.
Scat.
It's really, I mean, people go, you
They're-
fall off, trying to be relevant, you don't matter, and it's like, oh, like I know all that, and I'm just trying to, you know, do things that satisfy me like creatively. And
Yeah, it's interesting
And
that
working
some
on
people
YouTube.
feel the need to let the creator know because he
they're a
probably
piece of
doesn't
shit
know
and the
that you're
fucking
not
movement.
relevant
Yeah, yeah.
anymore and you used to be big and what
It's
are you
like,
doing?
Really?
Like, it must
I'm
make you
the
feel good.
same.
It must make you feel good to know that you could easily go back and do the same thing today, and it would get just if not more views now. I mean, look
Yeah,
at All Gas
dude.
No Breaks, dude. That's your brand.
No, oh, you know what? I should comment on this. I think that guy's very funny, and let me just say, man on the streets like nothing new, you know. And
True.
when I did it, Jay Leno was doing. You know, there was like there's always a version of it where people go like, you're just ripping that. We're all ripping someone off.
I get it, man. You're playing the game right now, dude.
I guess
You're
what
playing
it
the
is,
game.
dude, is Man on the Street is not original, but the way you did awkwardly and also trying to like pull these jokes over the wool of the eye of the person you're interviewing was, I think, original, right? Like
He's
I
trying
don't
to save
know
himself
any
to be able to
others.
collab with All Gas No Brakes.
Right, all tits, no ass.
Well, okay, I should watch more of the videos. I saw one where he went to a sex conference, you know, and I thought it was great, but I don't really know if he's truly biting my style or not. And if he is, like, good, like, go for it. I left so I wouldn't have to, if, you know, I'm not guarding anything. I don't care. I just want, if people see an opening on YouTube, like, go for it. I remember one time another big YouTuber was like, hey, you're not doing California On anymore. Can I do it? I was like, dude, go for it. He's like, yeah, but can I call it California On? I was like, oh, like,
no, that's like he's trying to
Can I
literally
call it
capitalize.
California?
No, do a
financially
little
on
bit.
this SEO of your
I live in
title.
Pennsylvania.
That's ridiculous.
Do a little, make it a little
Yeah.
bit different.
Dude,
but
California
sure.
On, he's in fucking Ohio.
Yeah, so I was like, well, dude, you're a funny guy. Just use the creativity to maybe have your own title for it. But
Okay,
so
California
that's
off.
where I drew the line.
California in Ohio On.
Yeah, that'd be great. I should
think of other
move. I
names.
should move out of California like everyone else is right now, and
Are
go
they?
just continue California On in Texas.
Mm.
What do you mean everyone's moving out of California?
Because of the big
Everyone's
wave. Because the big wave that's coming.
Hey,
It's
do you
the
believe
big one,
in
dude.
conspiracies? Do you think the
10
big
mile
one's going to be
pop-up?
coming soon? When do you think the big one is going to hit, the big earthquake? I watched a whole podcast series about it and how to prepare. I haven't done any of that.
Yeah, you know, I don't know when it's coming. I think
You
that's
don't know?
the question. But I would also like to let you know I'm not prepared, and I have no plans on being prepared.
Fuck yeah.
I
Just going to let it take you out to
if
sea.
there's an emergency,
Oh.
something bad were to happen, I am not a fight. I am a flight, or I just roll up.
And
If somebody
die.
were to
You
be
should roll
breaking
over
into
and
my
die.
home, I pull the covers up over and I just pray. You know what I mean? I just go do what you got to do, guy. I'm not
Right.
gonna fight it. I don't have an earthquake go bag. I am outside the tsunami zone. Luckily, I moved out of that part of Venice, and so if the wave was gonna hit, I think it'd come up waist high, pretty manageable here.
Right.
And
you can
I
swim
have a
too,
truck that
I
could drive into
assume.
the desert.
Yeah,
Cass,
how did,
it would be waist high, but it would be coming at the speed of light, man.
Right.
It'd cut you right in half. That wave.
Okay, yeah,
Slice and dice you.
that sounds extreme, but I believe you know what you're talking about.
well, he's seen
You
Not Another.
shouldn't.
He's basing it off of Not Another Teen movie where the football players catapult onto this guy and split him in half. He's basing the physics off of
He's
that.
actually basing that off of Grease
Yeah, of
Lightning.
Just keep remembering that you can't see me. And so
I think that's just. I think
Are
that's
we
just
still
bidding.
frozen?
I think he can. I think he can see you.
I think he's just saying that. It's
Ask
a
him
bit.
how many
Come
fingers
on.
you're holding up.
I'll come on again, and maybe I'm sorry for the way I've handled the technical aspect of
Right,
today's
you owe
podcast,
us,
but I'd love
man.
to come on again.
Dude, you can come on
Dude,
every
You
week.
owe us. Yeah, dude, you could be the fourth member, man. This has been really fucking fun. Can I just say something, man? Do you know how proud
Please.
how proud of you we are? How proud
And
of us
also-
fucking-
and we've been
for
looking
being
for-
in Transformers, dude. What the fuck? That's incredible. Do you fucking just
dude.
jerk off and think about that experience all the time? Christopher Walken.
You know what? I just went out to the mailbox 2 days ago, and I got a residual check for $12.
Oh,
And
fuck
I
yeah.
dude,
I
that's
hold
free
it up
money.
to the light. I make sure it's real, you know.
And
and
it's fake.
I hold
Turns
it-
out it's fake.
It's
Hold
fucking
up to
people
the light.
pranking
make
you.
Sure,
Holy
make sure
shit.
it's
Yeah.
real.
Transformers 4, widely regarded as the best Transformers.
Is that Transformers
it's-
Dark Knight?
It's Fallen Kingdom.
That's the Dark Knight, right?
The
Dark
Age
Knight
of
Rises.
Extinction, and,
Oh, it-
it's Mark Wahlberg's foray into the series. And I'll tell you, Michael Bay, a nightmare of a director.
I heard
but
about that.
I got.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I've actually publicly talked about it, but it didn't seem like it was a good experience for like the real actors, like the principal actors on the shoot, except for Mark Wahlberg, who I
Marky
stood
Mark.
next to, and he's kind of he's not Jordan size, but he's shorter
Yeah,
than
he's
you
shorter
would
than
think.
you think. Yeah.
Right.
Looked right into his eyes. so handsome,
Oh.
so good looking.
Mhm.
And
Even
he
from the
said,
angle, even from
"Hey,
this
man."
angle.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Dude, even from this angle?
Even from a bird's eye view.
All I saw was the top of his head. So handsome and well worth all the uncomfortable, awkward sort of interaction with the cast and crew and yeah, rent that on VOD and I'll see that check.
Fuck yeah, man.
I've heard that Michael, what's his fucking name? Who's the director? I'm so
Michael
stupid.
Bay.
Michael
Bay.
Bay.
I've heard he's a nightmare to
Michael
work with. I
Bay.
was watching the Tiger Belly podcast, and they were saying how he talked to, I think it might have been Bobby, or no, it was TJ Miller was on the podcast. Rest in peace, TJ.
He was in that movie.
And he was saying
JT?
that, wait, so you got to experience them on set yell at each other?
Who TJ Miller and
TJ
Michael
Miller
Bay?
and Michael Bublé, or Michael Showalter.
Michael
Michael
Bublé
Bublé.
directed Transformers.
No, I wasn't there for that particular event, but I can totally understand why something like that would happen. Let's just say Michael Bay had to have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and a chocolate shake at like 3:30 every day, or else he would start to lose it.
That's
Okay,
so
get
much
blood
sugar. That's going to
sugar.
raise
I
his
saw blood
insulin
sugar,
levels.
man.
dude.
But here's the real question: was it crunchy
I
peanut butter?
saw him. His crew worked.
Sorry,
here's one
James.
example. His crew was working so hard. Okay, here's two examples. Okay, I just killed a
Okay.
mosquito. His crew, unbelievable. Like the DP was very good. They're like unbelievably like a well-oiled machine. And at one point there was they call action and all the background go first. They go background and the background start walking. One of the background, everyone's walking forward. For some reason, one of the extras started walking backwards. And
I forgot to
Mike-
walk.
Mike-
Help!
I don't know if he just thought he was in between takes and he was going back to his original mark. Somebody was walking the wrong way, and Michael Bay goes, "Cut!" Singles out this one background person, and they go, "What are you doing? You are fucking up my production!" And just lays into this like poor background person.
And you knew their wealth.
And it was like the most
Mhm.
uncomfortable thing I've ever seen. Next scene, they're taking too long to set up. Michael Bay just goes, let's go. And they're like, we just need 30 seconds, boss, 30 seconds. He's like, no. He grabs the camera from the DP and just starts shooting himself. And they're like not ready for it. And they needed to hang like one piece of
in
green
the
screen.
bathroom.
They had to probably end up spending thousands of dollars for like a rotoscope job afterwards, just all because he couldn't wait 30 seconds. And there was just some interactions with his principal actors that you just looked at, you were like, that doesn't look like, as an actor, if I was like a real actor and I was his principal actor, I would not be stoked on how he's treating me. And
Yeah.
but what do I know, dude? I had like 3 lines in the whole thing. So
Well, I
Michael
am
Bay
a
ever
little, can you
expose
do one of your
himself to you?
lines? Do one of your lines from it.
yeah, you want to hear one?
Yeah.
Action.
Wait for action.
Oh, sorry. If we could
wait
just
for
wait for
action.
action. I'll play Michael Bay in this
Take
scene.
your glasses
I'll
off,
do it
man.
again.
I'll play
Superman
first
didn't wear
AD.
glasses.
I'll be the
dude.
first AD.
Okay, I'll be first AD. So I'll be
Cross
Michael
your
Bay.
eyes,
Okay.
man.
All right, can we
Superman's
settle?
eyes.
Can we settle? All right, Steve, can you call for settling?
Settling.
Lights.
This is me looking at Megatron.
Quiet. Settle, and action. Cut real quick, son of a bitch.
Cut, everybody,
Blue.
settling.
The director blew his goddamn brains out. The take was that good.
Dude, that was amazing. I do
was
feel a little bit strange right now because earlier in the pod, about 5 minutes earlier, I said I heard that Michael Bay was a bit of an asshole. Now, I know I said that right after I said I heard that, I heard it from watching a podcast, so it sounds like I was friends with the people that I was watching the podcast of. That's not the case. I heard it from listening to a podcast. So it's not that I'm friends with anyone from Tiger Belly. I just want to make that very clear. But I also heard that from Tiger Belly that Michael Bay acts a certain way, that he acts like that because he wants to be the only enemy on set. So no one.
I heard that as
It
well.
could totally be the case. All I saw was what I saw, right? So there was
If you see
I
something,
think
say something.
Well, can you
There
speculate
was
a
a
little
moment
bit?
where he seemed cool to the dudes, right? So I was chatting with some
he's
of
an
the
incel.
actors like
Right.
in between takes, and he comes up, he walks over, he's like, it's a conversation, and he says, so you interview porn stars, huh? I was like, Yeah, you know, it's just it's kind of stupid.
Fucking
Man.
Stupid
fuck
thing I
off,
do on
Mike.
Yeah, Michael Bay. Why?
I'm trying to deflect because I think
Dude, he just
Stanley
says jacking off.
Tucci was
That's
standing
so
right there, and I
sick.
didn't want Stanley to think I was some sort of like, yeah,
Some deviant.
I didn't want him to think I was some ruffian.
Because you had no idea he was
I
going to
wanted
do the
him to think I
silence
was
later on.
a big time theater actor, and
Right.
and I go, yeah, it's just a stupid thing, and he goes, yeah, I've been to the Playboy Mansion a bunch of times.
Cool.
I was like, yeah. That's I would imagine. Yeah, I bet it's cool.
You're
there.
Michael Bay.
Cool.
Yeah,
Generally,
and then-
they're not
and
you
porn
know that's
stars,
what
though.
Stanley Tucci's adding to it. Stanley Tucci's just off the side. Yeah, I've been to the Playboy Mansion a few hundred times. Okay, Stanley. Jesus.
Yeah.
Christ.
Guys, all right. So it was
fucking-
a very awkward, like you're in your friend group and you have the one friend who's the one upper who's always trying to come in and you know, squedge their way into a conversation and add something that they think is cool. And it was completely awkward, but it was a moment of him trying to be like one of the guys.
I think he was
remember
just
that.
looking at you and going, like me now, right now more than you like your close friends.
I
Do you
think,
think
like
that
me right
I think
now.
he wanted the dirty, juicy details, man.
I think he was like,
on
I've
set,
been to
he
the
was
Playboy
pouring-
Mansion. I've been to the Playboy Mansion hundreds of times. Like me right now more than you like your friends.
Hey, Kasim,
Yeah, I think that's exactly what he said.
Do
I
you
might have
think
shortened it?
that conversation makes me think that's why you got the job, was because Michael Bay came across you and was like, wait, this guy interviewed porn stars? Dude,
I
that's
could
my
fuck
end.
him.
Get this guy in the movie right now. That's
Well,
my
he
end
didn't
to
even
porn
audition for
stars.
it.
I'm gonna fuck this kid.
I'm gonna fuck this
I'm gonna
kid
fuck
like
this
he's a
kid.
porn star, dude. He probably got moves. He probably learned something from
I-
a fucking interview or two.
I'm gonna make this kid clap his fucking
God, that was
ass.
great.
Um,
Was I auditioned for like a different
Call
two
me
different
Megatron.
roles, and then they were like, well, you didn't get any of those, but they like you and they want you to come on and improvise. I'm like, oh, okay, I can come on and improvise some stuff on the set. And then first day on set, I show up, Michael Bay's like, yeah, hey, you're gonna say yes here, you're gonna say duh here, and so there was zero improvising. And I don't know if that's just he expected me to improvise with those lines, but I figured he was very specific. I was always told, just do what he says,
Right.
and don't look him in the eye, and don't touch him.
really? Is it a don't look him in the eye thing, or did you just add
No,
that
I
and
just-
fabricate?
No, I got a vibe that you weren't supposed to interact with him, and so when it was my last day, I made a point to like walk my way through and say thank you, and I said thanks, Michael, for everything, and I reached out my hand,
And he went,
and he was like,
And you accidentally
Yeah.
grabbed his penis.
he didn't want to shake
Shook
it,
his
but he
penis.
felt awkward, and I grabbed and I grazed his crotch, and I went up and grabbed his hand, and
And you flipped it and you kind of
Just
picked it up
like the
you
porn
picked it up a
stars,
little
right,
bit
right.
and you dropped it.
that's in the Blu-ray scene. But you know what was really cool? I got to do other stuff. Like they needed a guy to do the voice for one of the Transformer robots, like the little one, and Stanley Tucci had to act in the scene with this robot, and they're like, hey, we heard you do voices. I think I lied or something. And I just sat
Right,
there
right,
and did
right.
this voice, and for like an hour, and my throat was gone. But and it ended up getting cast by a real voice actor anyways, but it was
Mm.
cool. I got to do something kind of different on there.
yeah.
And that's Transformers 4, Age of Extinction. Rent it now, VOD.
In
And wherever you
theaters
get your-
this summer.
Kasim needs those $12 checks. Please go stream it.
Theaters now.
He's relying on those to pay his phone bill, dude. Clearly, he's running
Please.
fucking wireless internet from his phone right now.
What he does is he gets
so sorry.
$12
No,
checks
you're good,
each month,
you're good.
and then he saves up a whole year of all those checks, and then that's about $140 he could pay for one
And then
month of
you-
phone bill.
That's right.
And then
You know,
he gets all the podcasts in during that month.
Are you
That's right.
on
I
other
got
podcasts?
3 more to do today.
On other
What's that?
podcasts that you've done, like in interviews and everything, how often do you get asked about the porn stars you've interviewed?
You know, that used to be a thing. Maybe not so much anymore.
Well, because there's no interviews now.
I think it's just been so long. I think people just go. I think what's great now is people just kind of only either know me from the podcast that I do, Pajama Pants, or they don't know me at all, which is kind of interesting because there's a lot of that stuff that you know, my early YouTube stuff where it's just like super cringy and like I privated a lot of it, and I don't want to be known as a lot of that stuff.
Right.
But if
Right.
I'm making like if I'm getting new people now, it's like, oh, okay, it's possible. It wasn't all just from a moment in time on YouTube. So
No, you got the gift, baby. I'm not going to sit here and try to, pander to my own personal deep thoughts. Like, have you had
look
sex
at
with any
that.
of these porn stars?
Look at that.
Yuck,
Are you fucking
yuck,
kidding
yuck,
me,
yuck.
dude?
Dude, Kip, the harder you flexed, the smaller it got.
Dude.
I'm gonna try to flex long ways.
there's a point where you got to keep it here, or else.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, I'm not gonna pander, man. I'm not gonna fucking ask you if you've had sex with any porn stars that you've interviewed.
Unless
or
you
any,
want to tell
any
us about it.
porn stars in general.
No,
I'm gonna ask you.
I'm on the
gonna ask you about
record
what I
as
care
no,
about. What I care about.
Sure.
What's Pajama Pants about?
Pajama Pants is a podcast I do with my one of my best friends, Rob Heiler, and Amy Lynn Sigler, who were AJ and Meadow Soprano on the show The Sopranos.
Amazing.
And the
Cool.
three
Never
of us,
seen
yeah,
it.
Unreal.
I haven't seen it yet, but I really want to.
You know what? Neither have any of us.
Wow. Wow.
Jamie is actually is watching it for the first time right now as we speak. Are you almost done? She's on season 4, and
your dog?
we kind of
Is that your
we
dog?
just I done Jamie. It's just the three of us chatting, and that's on. We just started putting them on YouTube a few months ago, and it's great. We have a great
you guys
You guys
having
have
a
themes,
blast?
or do you just talk about your lives?
Sorry, one person said, "Are we having a blast?" And then Steven said, "What?"
Well, Kip's question was sucked.
No, because mine had a
Yeah,
follow-up question.
no, they're not having a blast, dude.
I mean, it could be work, or it could be super fun.
I mean,
for
it
them,
could be worse.
bro.
We're having a blast.
Nice,
No, it's
Steve.
good. It's a great time. Yeah, Steven?
What I asked was, what do you guys talk about on the podcast? Do you talk about
Nice
like life
question,
things?
Dude.
What do you
Nice
guys?
fucking question? You fucking.
Do you guys have? Are you themed? Do you figure it's better to start a new podcast
No,
off
it's
with a
not.
theme kind of?
It's not a themed, not like maybe my new podcast where we cover cryptids, aliens, Bigfoot.
Your last
paranormal
podcast kind of
stuff.
creeped
That'll
me
be-
out a little bit. I'll be honest, because it creeped me out. You were a little creepy in it because everyone else was sitting and you'd just be standing the whole fucking time, dude. You would just be like everyone's
Why is
sitting
your
down,
fucking tongue
dude.
out, man? While he's
Fucking-
talking about how creepy you are.
Just like fucking sit down, man. Why are you standing up when everyone else is like? Are you trying to make them uncomfortable? What's going on?
No, I just realized that it works best if all three of us are sitting, but it took
Just now,
it
he
took 40
realized.
episodes to figure that out. Yeah.
Like, don't you get tired of?
I think I
standing
talk
up?
better when I'm standing. Yeah.
Dude, just fucking.
No, it's not themed. We just talk. Jamie's a mom
Right.
who likes to get stoned. Rob is like an ex big time drug addict, and then
That's sick. That's actually
I am
sick.
also an ex drinker who believes in aliens. So I mean, can you just imagine?
The chemistry's
Imagine
there.
the
I mean, I'm
conversation.
imagining it. I'm barely imagining it.
So
He's-
it
he's
took
barely
a while. It took a
managing.
while, but we're hitting our stride. So check us out on this YouTube.
Check him out on the YouTube right now, you guys. Truly.
Hell
Go to
yeah, I'm
go to
going to.
pajamadance.com.
Oh, it's not Pajama Dance. No, it's not Pajama Dance. Pajama Pants. Dude.
Whichever it is, man, they're going to both.
Well,
I was
thank you. I
surprised
gotta
that
go
Kid
get
was the one that
Pajama
reached
Dance
out to you to
channel
fucking
back.
get on the pod, man.
I don't know what made me
Dude, that
think
doesn't
of
make
it
any sense
at all.
I mean, I never thought you would be on the pod, to be honest. I thought that it was just like we'd reach out to you, and then it would be one of those things where it's like, yeah, maybe, and then time would pass, and then
Just
we would
like-
all be too
just
scared
like
to follow
Post
up on
Malone
it.
did.
But Kib just fucking, he reached out to you just without, just one day he's like, hey,
I don't know
Cass
why
needs to be on the next pod.
I don't know why you think that. I responded to you when you asked me to be
I know.
in your video, and
I have no
That's
idea.
what made me think of it.
It's the same thing, dude. I
tired
get
of
told this
showering you with
too.
compliments. I'm tired
Well,
of it.
I feel that, but
you
it's- I
guys
think-
are all great. And
so it's
glad
because I'm
that I reached
intimidated.
out. No,
I'm intimidated by you.
Steve, you're interrupting him.
But I know
You
there's
know.
no reason to be. You're so small. And people have said the same thing
There's
about
no
me.
way. He's
and
not
I'm,
small.
and I'm so
You're not
surprised.
short, are you, Kassem?
He's a little guy, dude.
You're tall. I'm 6'1", but I think
Well,
you're
we're
like
the
6'7".
same. I'm like 6'1", 6'2". Steve's
You
like
guys are all
6'5",
very
6'8".
small.
6'1" with
They're all
real
little
bad
guys.
posture and a hunch.
What's the hunch? You onto something?
These guns. These guns.
Oh, bring him back out. Great. Great. Okay, I think we've expended all of our podcast juice right now, but I'm sure people are going to check out Pajama Dance. I think people are
Yes.
going to really like that.
I know I am.
We got the link in the description down below, and that's,
That's
your
right.
little gift from us, dude. Is
Love
you
to
get
come back.
please come back.
Yeah, we'd
dude.
love to have you again, man. This was really fun. You know,
We've been
I was
looking-
worried we would all be so awkward for some reason because I had no idea what you'd be like, and it was a pleasure, dude. You're a fucking great guy.
And also, we've been looking for
think you
a
guys are
fourth
great.
member that doesn't
Thanks,
need
man.
money.
Yeah, you could be our intern.
Let you know if I find anyone. 'Cause I need it.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, and I'd love to come back and maybe we could get you guys on Pajama Dance when that channel launches.
And that's a big
Yeah.
maybe.
Anytime, dude. Anytime. Maybe for Steve. Anytime for Steve.
Yeah.
Thanks for
truly,
remembering.
though,
Thanks
you
for remembering the old guys. You know, the guys that were out there on YouTube years ago. You know, it's nice to know that we got people out there that remember us.
Respect your
Dude, I don't
elders.
give
That's
a
what my
shit about
parents
these
always
TikTok
said.
kids. I don't give a shit if Charlie and Huddy break up, dude. I give a shit about you.
They already broke
man.
up, bro.
Wow.
They already broke up?
Yeah, dude. It was drama, man. It's fucking. I'm all about. I'm
Cass,
getting
I'm
choked
gonna have
up.
to talk to you later.
Yeah,
About
yeah.
this.
I
Thank you,
get it.
Kasim. Thank you so much for coming on, man. We'll see you in the next one.
Sorry, you guys got that news.
man.
Yeah, but it's been a pleasure.
We'll see you
guys.
next
Thank
week,
you so
dude.
much. Yeah, see you
Later,
next
Poppy.
week.